I'm in a very rarely visited country way out in the middle of the Pacific. Amazingly, it's scattered across 750,000 square miles of ocean. And yet, its over 1,000 tiny islands cover a total of just 70 square miles of land. Welcome to the extraordinary watery world of the Marshall Islands. The Republic of the Marshall Islands is located about halfway between Hawaii and Australia and are part of Micronesia. Later on in this Globe Trekker special, I visit several other isolated islands in the Pacific Ocean, including Moorea in French Polynesia, Tongatapu in the Kingdom of Tonga, Vitulevu in Fiji, and Grande Terre in New Caledonia. Despite their newfound independence, all these islands share a common story of colonization. But first, to the Marshall Islands. The first Westerners here were the Spanish in 1526, but they later sold them to Germany in 1884. However, during World War II, the USA became the most recent colonizers, and along with other Pacific islands, they were then consolidated into the United States-governed trust territory of the Pacific Islands. Despite achieving full sovereignty in 1986, U.S. influence here still remains extremely strong. Arriving at the U.S. military base on Kwajalein Atoll, I go wreck diving off Ibai before flying on to compete in a traditional sailing canoe race on Majuro. Catching a boat onto the island of Mili, I end my trip diving a crashed World War II bomber. Whew, we made it to Ibai. Man, this place is not easy to get to. First of all, the only decent airport around here is back on Kwajalein, which is a U.S. military base and is part of a high-security ballistic missile test site. So, no cameras allowed, and everybody's got to go through lots of time-consuming checkpoints. Weird. Anyway, here's Ibai. Unsurprisingly, very few foreign tourists make it all the way out here to Ibai, so finding a decent place to stay does take some searching. I'm staying in a trailer hotel tonight. The question is, which one? Hello.
Hi. May I help you?
Yeah, looking for a trailer hotel. Is this it?
Oh, yeah, this Star Hotel.
Can I get a room for the night?
Oh, sure.
I have to say, the outside of the aluminum trailer doesn't look that enticing, but hopefully it'll be nicer on the inside.
Okay, here's your room.
Oh, this is nice.
You can have it all yourself.
Got a living room, kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen.
Big kitchen. It's like home.
Have yourself
bedrooms. Cool, man. I'll take it. Historically, the waters around the Marshall Islands were a major battleground in the fight against the Japanese during World War II. And ever since, the continuing American military presence here has had a huge impact on the islands. I'm really crossing my fingers this blows over soon. Out here in the lagoon is the wreck of a massive World War II warship. On a good day, it's supposed to be a great dive. And its history is even more amazing. In 1946, it had 2 atomic bombs dropped on it during the infamous nuclear test at Bikini Atoll. 250 miles northwest of Ibai, Bikini was the site of much of the USA's highly controversial post-war nuclear testing. After the islanders who lived on Bikini were removed, in 1946, more than 80 obsolete World War II warships were lined up in the lagoon and then blasted by 2 atom bombs to test how the ships would be affected. Back on Ebi, the tropical storm's finally blown over, and I'm heading out into the lagoon with local diver Connor Larkins.
How you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Most of the ships at Bikini were sunk by the atom bombs, but some did survive. One of them, the German warship the Prince Eugen, was towed here to Kwajalein for tests on how radioactive it had become. But when a storm blew up, it capsized and sank here, upside down.
I know it's been like 3/4 of a century since this happened, but do you think it's still radioactive?
They've done testings on it, and they say it isn't radioactive.
So we hope they're right.
We hope they're right.
We hope they're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Bikini, the Prince Eugen was anchored around a mile from the precise spot where the atom bombs were detonated. Surprisingly, given the immensity of the atomic blasts, its hull and superstructure were only slightly damaged and are still pretty much intact today. There are several places where you can head inside the ship, but because it sank upside down, swimming through it can be very disorientating. Several divers have died penetrating the wreck, so I'm certainly going to avoid it. On one side, you can still see some of the guns that saw action alongside the Bismarck in the famous naval battle in 1941 against the British warships HMS Hood and Prince of Wales. Time to head back to the surface.
That was awesome. Good dive, yeah?
Yeah.
Good dive. Excellent.
Just like the islanders cleared off Bikini in 1946, who still haven't returned home because of fears of radioactivity, the people who once lived on the outer islands of Kwajalein are unable to go back home because of the continuing U.S. missile tests. The social impact of the secretive U.S. base on Kwajalein goes even further. Attracted by the chance of working at the base, but forbidden from living there as well as on many of the outer islands, thousands of Marshall Islanders have moved to the nearest island, Ebi. Just a mile long and less than 200 yards wide, Ebi is now hugely overcrowded. With a population of over 13,000, it's been given the unflattering nickname, the slum of the Pacific. But life here isn't all doom and gloom.
Hey, what's your name? What's your name?
Estelina.
Estelina. What's up, Estelina? You ready to go in?
The local kids on Ebi certainly know how to have fun.
This place is so wild. It's got such a free spirit. Lots of kids running around. Everywhere you go, there's no adults, right, guys?
Besides basketball, another really popular game in the Marshall Islands is baseball. But here on Ebi, the only open space big enough to play it is the rubbish dump. It's by no means all hardship living out here in the Marshall Islands, of course. And as night falls, my diver friend Connor introduces me to one of the great delicacies of the Pacific.
All right, what is this here, Connor?
That's coconut crab.
This is a crab.
That's a crab, and it's a very large one at it.
Look at this. Yeah, it looks like a giant hand.
Hands down, it's better than any lobster or any other type of crustacean ever.
Why is it better?
It eats coconuts.
That's
and
all it
so-
eats?
Primarily.
So it's got real sweet
Coconut.
meat.
So yeah, so with its big claws, it opens up the coconuts and
It can
eats-
crack a coconut
It can
with-
crack a coconut. So you definitely
Scary.
don't want to get your finger caught in there.
All right, let's try it.
Rich, very rich. from the coconut.
How's that taste?
Hello.
It's so juicy. Yep.
It's now time to move on from Kwajalein. In order to fly out, I catch a boat across to the military airport on the base. From Kwajalein, it's a short 1-hour flight across 270 miles of ocean to the capital of the Marshall Islands, Majuro. Like Ibai, Majuro is a small island and crowded too. Around 30,000 people live here, almost half the population of the entire Marshall Islands. The port in Majuro is the busiest in the country. To get from here to other countries across the Pacific, the ships have to travel thousands of miles. Historically, of course, these great ocean journeys were made by sail, and Majuro is one of the best places in the Pacific to learn how it was done.
All Pacific Islanders have traditionally been known for their boat building and navigational skills. But throughout the Pacific, the Marshall Islanders are renowned as some of the best sailors around, and I'm about to find out why.
I meet up with Alson Kellen, founder of a project to preserve and promote traditional Marshallese canoe building and navigational skills.
Hey, Alson.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I hear
As Alson explains, the unique design of the Marshallese canoes makes them the fastest in the Pacific.
This one over here, if you could look at it careful, this side is flat and this kind of side is round. It's called the asymmetrical shape. You see this outrigger on this side and the canoe on this side.
Yeah.
Without the shape, it would the canoe would just kind of go like this.
So this side's flat, this side's round, and because of the outrigger being there, that keeps it going straight.
Straight.
Does that actually make it go faster?
Definitely, definitely.
Apart from the Marshallese canoe's clever design, the islanders also developed unique methods to navigate the vast distances here in the Pacific, in particular, the ability to read the ocean swells.
Okay.
The other Pacific Islanders are using the stars and the wind. We rarely use the stars. We mostly use the swells.
Well, that's lucky because
Yes.
it's overcast a lot here.
Yes.
You get lost quickly.
True, but so when there's an island, you can kind of feel the swell goes to hit the island and actually come out.
Okay,
And
so
you feel it.
this swell here is coming from something that hit that side and is coming back this way.
Yeah. So the swell would go to the beach
And then come back out.
Yeah.
So what we can tell from this is that there's land over
There's
there.
that land over there.
How far away from land can you feel that swell?
The best navigator can feel it from 50 to 60 miles. No, sorry.
In order to pass on their navigational skills to the next generation, Marshallese traditionally used a so-called stick chart as a teaching tool.
Okay, this is it's like a compass. This is east, it's north, south, and west.
Okay.
This round thing over here is the swell that coming from east. And if this was an island,
Okay.
the swell coming kind of out the
It
island.
wraps around the
Wraps
island.
around.
Okay.
These three lines over here represent three different swells.
Yeah.
Chugai, Ribugai, and Chalatai.
Okay.
And if you go close to an island, you feel the same three.
Okay.
You have to train from young so you feel it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you go out there, there's wind, waves, there's swell, there's everything, so it's really messy, so you don't feel it.
Yeah.
But if you know it, you go out there, it's like, you can see the map.
Now that I've heard about the theory of Marshallese sailing, it's time to give it a go myself.
That blue ship out there about a mile away? Yep, that's right. We're going to race around that boat and back. 3, 2, 1, go!
We don't get off to a great start, but before long, we begin to catch up with the other boats.
We're going to do this!
I'm gonna be the number one!
The underdogs take the lead! Woo! Whoa! Fuck!
Soon up a healthy lead. But a squall's blown in and the wind's picked up so much, it's really hard to keep the boat under control.
We prayed for wind and we got it, but maybe a little too much. We're not winning now. It's just so disheartening watching it slip through your fingers. We were right at the lead. And look, they're already rounding the boat. Let's go, Albert. Come on, what are we doing? We're wasting precious time. Okay, let's do that again.
Oh well, maybe next time. Having spent all my time so far on the most populated of the Marshall Islands, I'm now looking forward to going somewhere much more unspoiled. At the dock in Majuro, I meet up with Matt Hawley.
Matt? Hey. Hey. Stay Harding. Matt Hawley. Nice to meet you.
An American who's lived in the Marshall Islands for more than 30 years. Matt's a commercial diver by trade, but his hobby is trying to discover previously unknown wrecks from World War II. From Majuro, Matt and I are heading out into the open ocean on the long overnight crossing to the remote atoll of Mili.
So far, we're just in the lagoon. But in about a half an hour, we'll be out in the ocean. And this is pretty calm, even though it's a bit windy at the moment. Once we're out there, it'll get a lot more swell.
How long is the trip?
It'll take about 12 hours. We expect about 12 hours for this passage.
We should get there right at
We'll get there probably at the crack of dawn, which is good for the captain.
Cool.
From Majuro, it's a rough crossing of around 80 miles of open ocean to reach the very rarely visited Mili Atoll. As expected, by dawn, we've arrived just offshore.
Oh, yeah. I'm speechless right now. This is so gorgeous. Little palm tree covered islands. It's like in the middle of nowhere. That's the way to wake up.
Today, just a few hundred people live on Mili, but back in World War II, as many as 5,000 Japanese soldiers were garrisoned on the island. Towards the end of the war, as Japan stared defeat in the face, the garrison was bombed daily by the Americans.
You imagine this during World War II as a black and white picture. No trees. Imagine no green in your view. That's what it looked like in September 1945.
Why was that?
They bombed everything flat.
Don't crash.
Thank you.
This is so beautiful here. It's ridiculously beautiful.
Almost as soon as we're off the boat, there's evidence of the ferocious American firepower that once rained down on Mili.
It's quite whole.
Yeah. This is about a 2,000-pound bomb crater, this area.
This is from one bomb.
This is from one bomb.
Wow.
So you've got about 40 feet by 30 feet by however deep this is, another 10 or 12 feet deep.
The Japanese didn't stand a chance.
Not since there's thousands of craters like this on Mili.
You're finding these all over the island?
Thousands of them.
Earlier in the war, the Japanese had had a big air base here on Mili, but after just a few weeks of the U.S. bombing campaign, it was rendered completely unusable. Just off the old airstrip, you can still see the wreckage of one of the Japanese planes.
This is a Japanese Betty bomber.
What's a Betty bomber?
A Betty bomber is a Japanese medium bomber. Had 2 engines, crew of 5 or 6, and it was designed to go out in the ocean and search for American ships and such. There used to be a big turnaround pad here that probably belonged to the commander of the air base. So this is probably his personal plane.
So it was just parked
So
here?
it was parked here, and the Americans came in and caught it on the ground and hammered it.
Although the American bombers ruled the sky above Mili almost unopposed, very occasionally the Japanese anti-aircraft gunners had some success. On January 19, 1944, a B-25 was shot down, crashing in the lagoon just offshore. Its location was lost for well over half a century until Matt discovered it after years of searching.
How did you find this thing? This has got to be like finding a needle in a haystack.
The reference point in the past was a shipwreck over here, about 800 yards.
Okay.
And the military report said they crashed next to the shipwreck. So we started our search there years ago. Couldn't find it. So we come back every year and do another block of pattern, another block of pattern, another block of pattern. On the 12th year, we found it here.
Well, I can't wait to see this. I can't believe you found it. And not too many people know about this.
No,
Huh?
this is only the 4th dive on this aircraft.
Wow.
The B-25 bomber lies in just 35 feet of water and is remarkably intact. In the cockpit, you can still see the steering wheel, flight control handles, and firing sight. There's even some ammunition, too. Up on top of the bomber, the turret guns are still in position. Nearby, you can see exactly where it was hit by the anti-aircraft fire that downed it. Looking into the fuselage through the shrapnel hole, I see that the bomber makes a good hiding spot for marine life. Time to leave. I have to admit that when I first came out here to the Pacific, I expected all the Marshall Islands to be as picturesque as Mili. But scarred by post-war U.S. nuclear tests, still ongoing missile tests, and social problems resulting from displacement of its people, many of the Marshall Islands aren't picture-perfect at all.
Hey, it was great, man.
Thank you, Matt.
Come again.
Expanding over 9,500 miles, the Pacific Ocean contains over 20,000 islands. Most of these can be divided into 3 main regions: Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. While the USA's colonization of the Marshall Islands is relatively recent, the vast majority of the Pacific Islands were conquered during the 18th and 19th centuries by powerful Western seafaring nations, including the British and French. And it's to Moorea in French Polynesia that I'm heading next. Located in the Society Islands, thousands of miles east of the Marshall Islands, Moorea is just 9 miles northwest of Tahiti. Tahiti was claimed by the French explorer Louis-Antoine de Bougainville in 1768, and the French influence remains here to this day. However, the first European to actually arrive on these shores was Englishman Captain Cook, who came here a year before Bougainville to chart the transit of the planet Venus as it crossed the sun. During his second voyage in 1777, Captain Cook sailed to Tahiti's picturesque neighbor, and my next destination, Moorea. In Polynesia, Moorea translates as yellow lizard, and I'm keen to learn more about this isolated island's native culture, as well as Cook's historic visit. Archaeologist Paul Neva is driving me up to the top of the island. It's where the Marama tribe built their village center, the Moorea.
Scientists called Titiroa and also called Belvedere.
The lookout point, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
This is incredible. Look, any which way you look. Wow.
Yeah. So over there you have the bay, we call that Bay Pawpaw. It was called Cook Bay.
So that's where Captain Cook came in?
No, it's a little bit a mistake. Normally he landed in this bay, over here in Opunohu.
Cook landed here?
Yes.
But they call this one Cook Bay?
Yes.
They made a mistake?
Yeah, big mistake.
Oopsie.
So here in the front of us, we have this mountain called Frotui. Over here we have Mount Arwa, over here. So this is the main volcano of Moorea. We are inside the caldera of Moorea.
This was a big crater.
Yes.
So this was higher up at one point, and it's eroded,
Yes.
come down over time. Okay. So even though we feel like we're high up, we're actually in the middle of a bowl.
Yes, we are inside of a bowl. And at the back, you can see this panoramic mountain. It's called Tohivea, and it's the most highest mountain of Moorea. The place close of the sky where we can get the mana from the ancestor, from the god.
Mana is power, yeah?
Yes, mana is power from the ancestor.
I feel it. I look up there and I can feel the power. It's such a powerful image.
Yeah, that's why they build Mara here, to link the people to the ancestor.
Just next to the lookout point is the ancient Moorea.
This is what we call a mare. This one is called Afreito and who is belonging to the Marama, who is one of the last dynasty who sovereign Moorea.
So it's not just for one chief.
No, not for one chief. No, it's the lineage. All the family own this mare.
Guess he doesn't want us talking about him, huh? He's starting to piss down rain on us.
Yeah. When it's raining here, that's when you welcome.
Oh, I like that.
You can see the trees on it representing all these ancestors for the Polynesian people. That's meaning that inside of the mare, the darkness, where the tapu is, we call that tapu.
Taboo.
Tabu.
Yeah, like sacred.
Sacred place. Is always black like this. You all had to keep the darkness inside of the mare. All over it was clear, but not on the mare.
So it's shaded with trees
Shaded
as well.
with this tree.
Moorea's lush tropical climate makes it the perfect place to cultivate spices. And in the mid-19th century, French entrepreneurs began shipping vanilla plants here. Today, it's the most expensive spice in the world. And spice farmer Luana tells me that the vanilla flower pollinates itself, a biological miracle. A small splinter of wood is used to lift up the brustellum of the vanilla flower so that the male stamen can be pressed against the female stigma. The vine then self-pollinates, and presto, a vanilla bean is spawned. A healthy vine will produce about 50 to 100 beans per year on average.
The crazy thing is, it takes 9 months for these vanilla beans to grow, and then you have to wait another 4 months for them to dry out before you dare crack them open. It's a very delicate and patient job, and Luana's been doing this most of her life. And did you know, I certainly didn't, that Polynesian vanilla is considered the best in the world? Must be all this fresh mountain air and rich volcanic soil.
Time to give it a go.
It's nerve-wracking. It's so delicate. But I feel good. I contributed to the procreation of vanillas. I certainly eat enough vanilla beans. That was quick. Luana has just made, in the last 15 minutes, this nice dessert they call poe, which is Tahitian for pudding, basically. This one is made up of coconut. You take the milk, you scrape off on this ana tool. You can make it like a tapioca, you add breadfruit, vanilla, and wrap it all up into this purao, which is a wall hibiscus leaf, and that gives it the flavor. You bake it for 10 minutes. I'm dying to try it. Yeah. Look at that. It's kind of squishy. It's slightly sweet. It tastes like cornbread almost, but kind of like a rice cake with more holes and air in it. You can get a hint of the vanilla, a hint of the coconut. It's really good.
While the French were busy introducing vanilla and other spices to Moorea, elsewhere in the Pacific, the British were introducing sugarcane. takeovers are a common theme in the history of these Pacific islands, and it happened too in the Republic of Fiji, an archipelago of more than 332 volcanic islands, of which more than 100 are inhabited. Its main island is called Viti Levu and is my next destination. This warring island nation with a specialty in cannibalism was first claimed by the British in 1874. Fiji gained independence back almost 100 years later in 1970. The 40% Indo-Fijian population that inhabit these islands are direct descendants of the colonial sugarcane workers. They were brought over in the late 19th century by British traders called blackbirders, who indentured them to landowners on their sugar plantations. Today, their descendants have become the backbone of Fiji's agricultural economy. I'm being given a crash course in sugarcane cutting by local farmer Sergio Lal.
So where's the sweetest spot?
Sweetest spot is here.
Yeah, in the bottom. Can we try it? Taste?
You can try.
This is the bottom part.
Yeah, you taste it.
It's good. That's energy.
Good, yeah, energy.
All right, back to work, guys. Break's over.
Cutting.
Got a lot of cane to cut.
It's all hard, sweaty work, and you need thick clothes to protect you from the sugarcane's spiky fibers. My hardened cutters are fourth-generation sugarcane farmers.
Why were the British going to India to get workers for Fiji?
Because Indian was very hard worker. That's why they bring Indian from Fiji.
But what's wrong with the local Fijians?
Local Fijian was very lazy and willing to work hard.
But was there sugarcane before they got here?
Before first time was not there.
So sugarcane,
Yeah.
harvesting sugarcane was introduced
Yeah.
with the Indians.
Indians, yeah, started Indian.
Wow. And you guys are still doing it today?
Doing, yeah.
Indian sugar plantation workers are scattered across Viti Levu. The majority live in humble rural farmhouses
Mrs. Lal?
and still retain their native customs and foods.
Mrs. Lal?
Yes.
Hi. Say, your husband's still in the fields, but he said you might need a hand.
Oh.
All right. Mrs. Lal is making ghee here, and at this stage in the process, she's already boiled the milk for 4 hours to make buttermilk, and now she's adding in a matani, which is like an egg beater, and she's added a little bit of yogurt culture, which is going to activate the whole thing to become more yogurt-like.
Have to tie the rope.
It's like making fire with sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to do like this, and then butter will come slowly. We have to do like this 1,000 times.
1,000.
Yeah, I have to count 1, 2,
3, 4, up to 1,000, fast as you can. Go, Mrs. Love. Go, Mrs. Love. You want some help? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 1,000.
Ghee is a clarified butter made with cow's milk and composed almost entirely of fat.
How long do we turn this?
we have to do like this about 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah,
I thought you said 1,000 times.
yeah.
That's 1 hour?
1 hour. Yeah.
It's a workout. Stay in shape, huh?
This constant agitation will separate the fats from the thin liquid, which is the buttermilk. A pot of cold water now properly separates the buttermilk from the fats. The butter fat is taken out, and this will make our ghee.
This is butter.
Smells like cheese. Can I eat it?
Yes, you can.
Very sour. Like rotten milk.
Put on a fire and heat moderately.
So we cook this for 10 minutes?
Yeah. it will turn to ghee.
And how do you know when it's done?
Yeah, I'll see that ghee, it's brown like ghee, then I'll strain it. Many people go around on the road, they smell something nice, ghee smelling.
It smells like baked bread, I bet. I'm starting to smell it a little bit. I love that nature provides if you know how to use it. And this juice is so good, this 100% natural sugarcane juice that I worked hard to make. Proud to say. Delicious. "800 miles west of Fiji lies yet another colonized island archipelago, New Caledonia. It's home to another race of foreign imported workers, this time from France. I'm visiting the largest of the island's Grande Terre, which is actually the second largest island in the Pacific. Like Tahiti, the island was first visited by Captain Cook. He spotted it during his second voyage and named it Caledonia, after the Roman name for Scotland, whose highlands he thought it resembled. Like Tahiti, the islands today are a French colony, with much of the island life reflecting this. The French took possession of the islands in the mid-19th century, and shortly after turned the island of Newtown, known as Neuville, into a penal colony. Mirroring the British colonies in Australia, the French viewed this island as an ideal location to displace their unwanted criminals. Established in 1864, it acted as a secondary penal settlement to Devil's Island in Guyana because inmates there were dying from malaria. After deportation stopped, freed convicts carved out new lives for themselves, and in some cases were even given plots of land. New Caledonia's vast open plains and expansive grasslands meant these ex-convicts became expert cattle wranglers, and they called themselves the Caledoche. Hey, how are you, Patrick? I meet with Patrick Artemani and his team. Although not a Caledoche, his ranch still reflects the working life of the expat here. Beef production is a major industry here, and out of about 126,000 head of cattle on Grande Terre, only 5% are dedicated to dairy production. Patrick raises some 600 cows with a small team of 3, and he wrangles them the old-fashioned way, with horses. The majority of the farms on New Caledonia are small operations like Patrick's. While this was good for the recently freed Caledoches, it took land away from the Kanaks, the indigenous Melanesian population, and tensions have remained ever since. So they're bringing all these cows in from around, they're herding them all in to go be inspected by a butcher. He's going to buy 20 cows, so I have to put on a show for him so he can choose. Chop shopping. All right, so now we're separating the cows from the calves. It gets very touchy because there's some bulls in here that just want to bully everybody and use their horns. They give it back. We had to let one go because what's happening is they endanger the calves that they're going to be selling. Oh, it's unpredictable. These guys, they sit and wait, and they're wild animals, you know. They seem tame, but watch this. You get these little movements that just outbreaks, you know. This is like profiling at the airport. They only let the cows through, and the calves have to stay behind. They don't understand it. Well done. Even the horse is sweating over here. With so many cows, it's important for Patrick to keep accurate track of them all. You have a tag in the ear, and you brand it to match the tag, yeah?
Yeah, because sometimes bags is gone. Cow is a...
they figure out how to get rid of it.
Better with Mark.
They can't get rid of that, huh?
Yes.
Zero. Zero, you take this one.
Right here?
Yeah.
For 10 seconds?
Here. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, ready?
I said you.
You ready?
Okay. Okay, good. And number one. Good one. Enough. Good one. Oh, good. Very good. 606.
Burnt hair. There's nothing pretty about this, but it only hurts for a minute. You just gotta put your emotions aside and do it, because if you mess around, it ends up burning them a lot. Is it true, though, that people who were convicts, once they were released, the French government gave them land?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. No many big lands, huh? Just 25 hectares.
It's still something.
Yeah,
It's
I work with 10, 11 Kanaks.
There are some Kanaks who are farmers, too?
Yeah. Good farmer.
Yeah?
I buy cow and steers with the place, Kanak place.
Oh, okay. So you do business with them, too?
Yeah.
Time to visit my final isolated island destination. East of New Caledonia is the Kingdom of Tonga. This archipelago comprises some 176 islands, 52 of them inhabited. I'm visiting the largest one, Tonga Tapu. Like so many of the Pacific Islands, Tonga was visited by, yep, you guessed it, Captain Cook in the late 18th century, who nicknamed these the Friendly Islands. But unlike the other Pacific Islanders, the Tongans were the only ones to successfully resist Western colonization. Despite this, Western influences are evident in Tonga, particularly through religion. Around 98% of Tongans are affiliated with a Christian church or sect, the largest being Methodism. To learn more about how Tonga managed to do what no other Pacific Islands could, I meet with local historian Daniel Fale.
The current Kingdom of Tonga is actually what's left of the Tongan Empire, which covered pretty much all of Polynesia at one time.
How did Tonga avoid getting colonized?
I think Tonga was, for the most part, more smart or clever, and they understood the subtleties of empire making and conquering. When Europeans came into the Pacific, I think they could easily and more readily read between the lines of what was going to happen and what would happen in the long run.
So what does that mean about the Tongan people?
I think that means exactly what Captain Cook said. We're the friendly islands. We're the most friendly people in the Pacific.
They can do it. You're extra friendly. We're not saying why, but we are the friendly islands.
Yes.
Despite their treasured independence, even the Tongans haven't been immune from the influence of the foreigner. Another import to these friendly islands is the not-so-friendly game of rugby.
I'm headed to Pongaimotu Island, not only to see the tropical idyll, but also to learn about the Tongan strength and prowess. To help demonstrate this, I'm meeting with former Auckland and All Blacks lock, rugby union legend, Charles Reichelman. Hey, how are you?
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Pangaeamotu Island is only 10 minutes from Tonga Tapu. But as I'm about to play rugby with a professional, I'd rather it was away from the crowds. Oh, it's okay though. Charles is on my team. Whew. And we're playing against kids. Oh, Tongan kids though. This might not be so easy.
I don't think he realizes he can't pass the bloody ball for it.
I know the Tongan kids love this game, but this is ridiculous.
I saw a guy the other day, and he was full grown, and he said he was 13. Is that pretty common?
Probably lied to. He's probably 12.
I rest my case. Let's go have a beer.
Perfect.
So tell me about your rugby career. You got in it pretty late?
Yeah, I didn't play rugby at all in Tonga. I grew up here till I was about 14. then went to New Zealand and then started playing rugby when I got to New Zealand. So
That's not that late.
it's not really that late, no, but a lot of the kids now in New Zealand, my kids, they start playing rugby when they're 5.
Are you teaching rugby the kids out here, it seems like?
Yeah, well, I coach one of the local teams there. I help out with them. I've done my coaching papers, so I'd like to help out more with the development side of rugby in Tonga.
You think that Tongans could be ruling the game?
There's a lot of Tongans within different teams, different international teams around the world already. The raw talent is amazing. There's a lot of boys here, but amazing talent, but it needs a bit of direction and a bit of coaching, and I think they'll be fine.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Still can't play rugby.
You still can't present TV.
You want to be a movie star?
You want to be a rugby star?
Been one.
Crap, you already were.